Hello, friends. I am Spire Meteorologist James Van Fleet. Hope your week has been a good one so far. We are going to circle back on some of the historic snowfall totals because we obviously forecasted the storm. We talked about when the snowfall would end. Now we want to talk about when the ice and snow will melt so operations and your businesses can resume normal procedures and operations that you would typically expect. We're going to start with kind of a random fact from one of my wonderful colleagues, Megan Mussolini, where today is the first sunrise in a couple of months for a place that was formerly known as Barrow, but it's Utqiagvik in northern Alaska. They're getting a sunrise that will occur around 1:15 and then we'll set again around 2 o'clock. So 45 minutes of sunlight for the first time in a couple of months. Better than completely dark, right? So just an interesting fact. Now, of course, our historic snowfall is so impressive. These are some of our NOAA snowfall totals, but you can see from basically Houston to Norfolk and all the areas on that I-10 corridor and then stretching up the southeast to mid-Atlantic coast are part of this. All the New York ones, that's lake effect snow and that system that's coming off the Great Lakes, but 11 inches of snow just north of Meyer, Louisiana. Lafayette, 10 and a half inches. I mean, 10 and a half inches for Louisiana. And we still see that continuing into portions of Louisiana and Florida, almost 10 inches around the Milton area. Florida. It's absolutely crazy. Century got 9 inches, Pace did as well. And even in the areas of Wright Brothers National Park around North Carolina, 9 inches of snowfall. So a couple of things I want to talk about. If you check in on these videos from time to time, but maybe not a current client of Spire, this is how some of our data is used. It's collected off of that constellation of satellites we have overhead. We have visualization tools that plots the data, which you can see right here, and all the warnings and advisories, of course, plus radar, forecast conditions, all coming up here. But notice I've got some roads plotted up, and that's what I wanted to show you was the ability to quickly check on your assets. Say you've got trucks, a fleet of cars, or you're moving goods that are on trucks and you want to know what the likely timing is, if there's going to be any delays. You very quickly plot your beginning and end route, and then you can monitor that specific route for your fleet. So Fresno to Denver, for example, that's a whole different system out west, of course, but wind gusts, flood alerts, freezing temperatures, accumulated snowfall, all can be a part of your tool belt to quickly see where might be my problem spots today. So I'll use that Miami to New York route. Of course, as the snowfall is ending and pushing off, this will be more about cold weather alerts, freezing temperatures, sustained winds. So to show you, you get bullet points and a quick summary, and then click on details. This is one of my favorite parts about this deep vision solution. You clip a couple of routes or plot in a couple of cities, and this will tell you in the details where along that route the weather advisory will occur and how many miles it will last for. Just an absolutely incredible tool. And you can see, for example, wind over 11 meters a second or over around 22, 25 miles per hour. That'll be on the Florida Turnpike, 84 miles in on this route, and last for, after about the 73rd mile, it'll last for 4 miles on the route. Other situations that we see the cold weather advisory and precipitation over a centimeter for I-95 North, you've got about 220 miles on the route where that could be an issue. So just very cool ways to visualize and easily assess with if you've got fleets, assets. We have energy companies, large energy companies that are also wanting to know where do we stage our crews. We also have energy traders that want to know where might power outages occur. All kinds of businesses are using this data to sort out what's currently happening and what's about to happen so you can get an idea of how to best prep for the day and you're not surprised. One thing, as promised, we talked about when will the snow and ice melt? Well, for a lot of folks, it is going to be a couple of days still, 24 to upwards of 72 hours in some places. We're starting to see some of that warming today taking place around the Houston metro as temperatures get over 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll stay in that mid 40 range for today. But you can see at best in Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle, 35, 34 degrees. So not much melting occurring as we go through the day today. And with the overnight temperatures, again, getting well below freezing, a hard freeze continuing for the Gulf Coast. That will mean anything that does have slight melting today, maybe from road traffic, or if your temperatures were close enough to freezing and above, might make some of that slush. This will all refreeze overnight tonight along the I-10 corridor and the I-95 corridor from, say, north of Jacksonville on up to areas by Charleston and even eastern North Carolina. We do see a rebound coming on Friday, and this should start to give us some good melt. So as I said, this could be 48 hours for some folks, even upwards of 72 hours before you really get decent melt going to where you wouldn't have ice refreezing. So as temperatures climb back in the 50s for the I-10 corridor from Jacksonville to Baton Rouge over to Houston, I think that's where we'll start to see a lot of melting on Friday, but it may not run off. And as we get back into the overnight hours, you can see we will have temperatures below freezing again. So it's my belief that it will be, for all the ice and snow to be completely gone, we're probably talking Saturday. Some of you, plenty of you, will have better conditions tomorrow, Thursday, improved conditions again on Friday after the roads freeze again overnight, Thursday and a Friday. But the true melt gone. I think we're safe again for any and all areas to operate our supply chain or businesses or energy. That will be on Saturday. So that's the update on our latest with this historic winter storm. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Of course, I'll see you tomorrow. We still have plenty of other places around the world to talk about in our Spire Weather and Climate video forecast. And until then, stay safe, friends.